Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Taylor and I'm here to do a presentation on the spiral of silence. This is a theory by Elizabeth Noel Newman. So let's just start off with explaining what the theory actually is. So the spiral of silence theory says that people will be less likely to share their opinions if they feel they are strongly opposed or in the minority of the people with that thought process. So essentially this comes down to a lot of different things. This can be in politics, this can be in your personal life. This can be at a job. It doesn't really matter. It's just that when people feel like if they share their opinion, they'll be scrutinized, they're less likely to share it. People kind of like being a part of the bigger group. And because of this, it makes it a lot easier to share when you feel like people are on the same kind of page as you. One of the things that this is part of this is the quasi-statistical organ sensing. And this is just that the ability that people have to sense what an opinion of a group is. This is just when you walk into a room, you can just sense, what are we thinking about? How do we feel about things? What is this group kind of adapting to or connecting with? And that can be a really important part because we really need to be able to understand what is going on around us. I think it is really important that a lot of times that we are open and able to share our thoughts and opinions. That's part of what the spiral of silence is about. But also while remembering that might not always be important. So it is good to get a sense of what other people are thinking, even if it does disagree with what you think. Even if you feel that you should still share your opinion, it's important to remember that we're not all going to think the same thing and that people are going to react differently to what you want to say. And the next point is, and this is really what the whole theory comes down to, the spiral of silence happens because people fear isolation. Essentially, the reason that we fear sharing how we feel, sharing political opinions, sharing personal opinions, sharing work opinions, all of those things is because we feel that we'll be isolated. This can happen on a small level. This can happen just in a work situation. For instance, you feel like if you share how you want to do something or think that the company should go in a different direction, anything like that, that you won't get the promotion and that you'll be isolated in that way. I think this has been very much seen in the political spectrum right now with Donald Trump being our president-elect. I think it's one of those things where a lot of people were really surprised by that. But when it comes down to it, this means that a lot of people voted for him, but that wasn't being portrayed in the media. The media definitely has an impact on what we think is going on, and it was definitely portrayed that he was not going to win, that Hillary Clinton was definitely had a better shot. But I think that what I've heard from some of my friends and colleagues that are Trump supporters is that they didn't feel like they could actually share how they felt. They didn't think that they could say that they were a Trump supporter because they believed that no one else agreed with them. And that's just a really interesting way to look at it. I think that a lot of times we think that no one else holds the same opinion, but a lot of people actually do. So I feel that it's really important that we create spaces where people feel they can share. I just think it's one of those things where we don't want people to feel they're isolated. Even if we might disagree with someone, even if their opinion might be offensive, they still need to be able to say what they think and not fear that they will be discriminated because of that. Last is the real-life application. One of the things that made me think a lot about was being a young adult Christian at the public high school I went to about 5 years ago. It was just one of those situations where I felt like constantly there was opinions that I was just expected to agree with about how to live my social life or how I should be dealing in my relationships or, when conflict would arise between me and friends and how they thought I should react and it just always feeling a little bit like an outsider and not really feeling like I could share my thoughts on everything, especially on topics like abortion and things like that, of just feeling like, okay, I'm coming in and I'm going to disagree with what the majority of people think, and then maybe they won't want to be friends with me, maybe I won't be able to connect with them as well. And this was definitely a really difficult part of trying to work through as I got a little bit older, becoming more able to be like, okay, I have to be willing to share what I think, even if it's not going to necessarily win me friends. So, Thank you so much for watching this screencast today. A really cool theory, the spiral of silence, something that is so good to think about and talk about. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.